Hello, everybody. Crack open your bottles, bust out those caps, do your bottle holders. It's the last episode of 2020 for Dissonant Waves, our 19th minisode, I believe.
Fuck yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're leaving this on a interesting note. Done our 45th episode aired like a month ago now, maybe two by the time this comes out. This is minisode 19. We're gonna start off 2021 pretty strong. I'm Dominic, as always. Trix is here. No,
Oh yeah.
no Ritalin or Ritz, as I've now found out his nickname is to his friends. No Ritz
Ritz.
today.
That's great.
Ritz has been off charting his top 100 songs and playing them on internet radio for people. Weekend Run Club was there. Mitchell contributed his own or their own promo. Thank you for that, because I helped get that done, and I appreciated it. You and I also recorded some stuff, Tricks.
Yeah, we did.
It was a
Talked
fun
about
time.
Oliver Tree and Slift, I think.
I talked about health and Sufjan Stevens and Donnie Benet. That seems very much like a me thing.
Yeah.
We're both drinking here.
Yeah, I'm drinking wine. He's drinking rum.
The same bottle of rum I drank from probably 6 months ago now. It's almost done. Try to finish it for this podcast, but no promises. It's strong.
I'm drinking Pinot Grigio instead of my normal white Zin.
This is Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum. Ugh. But today, it's kind of a surprise episode. We didn't really plan this to begin with, but here we are. Turns out Money 2020 Part 2, We Told You So, is that good.
Yeah.
And also, Billie Joe Armstrong released No Fun Mondays, like a week or two before. So we figure to talk about both.
Yeah.
But before we get there, I do wanted to ask quickly, or however long we want to take on this, what you're excited for in 2021. If you know any albums or anything coming out.
Obviously, I know that Joyrider's coming out.
Petite League, January 8th, Joyrider. It's right there at the beginning.
I bought a hoodie.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. It's going to be like the first Petite League album I don't have to share with my ex.
Nice.
It's extra special for me. I'm looking forward to. From what it looks like, I think Rainbow Kitten Surprise is ramping up for a new album.
Okay, all right.
Which that'll be good.
I'm sure that'll be pretty good.
Yeah. But other than that, I haven't really been paying too much attention to what's coming out.
Local band Chicago to me, Kalimasi, their new album Laughs is coming out in March. That I will probably throw on the podcast. I don't know if it'll reach Zoo levels of popularity, but we'll see.
It's astonishing how Zoo just caught us all by storm.
I mean, yeah, we're coming up on a year now, 11 months of listening to Zoo, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Ritz has brought up a few names that he said we can mention for him. Luca Brasi has a new album, Tiny Little Houses, Slight Withers, Anna Monoguchi, Trophy Eyes. All interesting acts we'll probably look forward to. We'll probably listen to, realistically. If we do this throughout the whole year again. I'm also interested in the new Evanescence album coming out.
I did not know that was a thing, and I will listen to that now.
I've only listened to the one Evanescence album. I know there have been a few since, but
I've only listened to the one Evanescence song.
I mean, there are two that are big, but
Well, I'm thinking of their biggest one.
Which one?
Wake Me Up.
Okay, My Immortal is also the other one, which I'm assuming is probably where the Harry Potter fanfic got its name from, but who knows?
Probably.
Tiger Straw has a new album. Maybe we'll cover that.
There's a new Willie Nelson album coming out that's a Frank Sinatra covers.
The second Frank Sinatra covers album he's done.
Yeah.
Do you want to listen to those? Maybe we'll throw on both of those next year. Who knows? The world is wide open. We can cover, anything we want. I have resolved to pick better stuff as far as contemporary picks go. I feel like I've leaned too much on weird older acts getting back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of pulled the biggest old act, like the most boomer rock album I could.
What?
Dark Side of the Moon.
I mean, I was talking about like for 2021.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I pulled out Huey Lewis. I pulled out Willie Nelson. The Willie Nelson album was fine. Huey Lewis not as much. But I am not as familiar with a lot of the stuff coming out next year, so it'll be very interesting to see what gets picked.
Yeah.
It'll be probably a lot of just me guessing at what I'll like. But
2021 year is going to be an interesting year for music.
yes, that is in a few weeks from now. We're not there yet. By the time you listen to this, it might be there. Who knows?
Who knows?
But for today, let's talk about the two albums we've decided to come back and reconvene on.
Yes.
The Network's Money 2020 Part 2. We told you so.
This album
We're
has
right.
no right to be as good as it is.
You're wrong. We're right. You're wrong. And we told you so. But yes, it is very good. Surprisingly good. Amazingly good.
Yeah.
I mean, Father of All Motherfuckers is like bottom tier, bottom 2 of the year for me. And this is top 3.
That's impressive.
Like, Zoo was probably our biggest surprise of the year in terms of just like finding an album we all enjoyed together.
Yeah.
But I think the quality shift in Green Day and the Network is the other biggest surprise of the year.
Yes.
Because it's a 25-track album.
And there's no low point.
I think the lowest points you could find are the songs that were on Trans Am.
Yeah, which is impressive.
And even then, Ivanka as a Nazi is still pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
still slaps. Like, ironically though, it's like I was trying to listen to it like both without the songs and with the songs, and I think the songs from Trans Am do add stuff. But it's like, am I thinking there's stuff missing only because I've heard Money 2020 Part 2 in full, or is it like could they have been cut? I don't know.
But I feel like it being an exclusive like Transgender Day of Remembrance Day EP adds more credence to the fact that the 4 songs on the EP are still on the album.
Yeah, like it's called Trans Am for a reason. Even if it's just like a giant coincidence, they're like, "Oh, that'd be fun."
Yeah.
But yeah, let's basically continue our conversation from Trans Am a couple weeks ago, because there's now 21 other songs to talk about.
Yeah, and they go between goofy and political, and I'm living for it.
And it just sums up 2020 as a whole in a big way.
Yeah, like I was not expecting to fucking groove out to a song called Jerry Falwell's Pool Party.
You got songs like Asphyxia.
Yeah,
it's all about autoerotica.
Asphyxiation, yep.
Name dropping David Carradine, referencing INXS's lead singer. Anybody famous who probably died from it.
Yeah, and then you also have The Stranger, which is about giving yourself a stranger.
So 2 masturbation albums on this album. You know, when they mean part 2, they mean part 2.
Yeah.
They are Green Day's best masturbation songs.
They are Green Day's best masturbation songs.
And as someone who has a special connection to Longview, I can say that with some authority.
Yeah.
Boy. Songs like Degenerate just surprised the hell out of me, because Degenerate is a Muse song somehow. And as a fan of Muse, and we need to break that case at some point on this podcast. But when we bring up Muse, I'll bring back Degenerate, and we'll be like, yeah, that is a Muse song. And I
appreciate the name of the song Pizzagate not having any lyrics to it, because it's like that's a can of worms you don't really want to touch.
But Pizzagate does have probably some of the most innocent, childlike tones on the whole album.
Which makes it kind of more sinister, because you know what Pizzagate is.
I do know what Pizzagate is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much I want to get into it here, but you know.
It's a supposed pedophilia ring. That's all we'll say.
In the basement of a pizza joint.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton's supposed to be involved, they say, but she's obviously not, I don't think.
Yeah.
That was like the...
Also, have you seen all the single art for every song that they did on their YouTube?
I've seen a lot of the videos. I don't know if I've seen all the single arts.
They posted their entire album on YouTube, which I can appreciate, and they gave every song like its own art.
Yeah. I really like Art of the Dealer with the Devils. It's very good.
Yeah, which was originally supposed to be on Father of All Motherfuckers.
You can definitely tell. It does sound like those songs, but it's also better than those songs.
Oh, yeah. You've got Amnesia Vagabond just adds on to the lore of the network.
Yeah. You got, who is it, the Snoo? Or Van Gogh?
No, it was Van Gogh.
Van Gogh just shouting, "Who am I?
Who am I?"
And it's a fun song. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like "Hey Elon." It's like a critique of Elon Musk, but it's kind of like in such a way that he'd think it's a compliment to him.
And he could enjoy just listening to it while we're just kind of like, yeah, Elon, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Cancer's New Black is catchy.
Cancer is the new black.
Which is not something you'd think you'd say in the world.
No.
Took me a while to figure out what Carolina's ultimate Netflix tweet was about.
Yeah, I mean, first letter of each word.
Yeah, it took me like until maybe a few days ago.
Same here. No shame in it.
Like I was taking notes and I figured it out because I wrote. I'm like, because I wrote it like, why is this called this? And then later I went back like, oh yeah, cool, all right.
Yeah.
Apparently though, there was a song called CUNT at some point, and people I think are speculating that Green Day might have just prettied it up for the Network's album.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see Green Day taking like the roots of some of their songs that they've had lying around in the last few years and like, let's change it up a bit, let's networkize it and put it on this album. Because I'm sure some of this stuff is like totally new, totally like 2020 inspired. Some of it though, I think probably just holdovers.
Definitely.
And again, it lends credence to the idea that Father of All Motherfuckers was some kind of like prank or some kind of just get out of the contract album.
Yeah, pull on a Prince.
Because I've read, I think it was on either on like a fan page or like the Reddit or something like that. An LP is considered an LP when it's 26 minutes long. And that's just about how long Father of All is.
Yeah.
Like 26 minutes and some amount of seconds. So in that sense, I think that's probably, if you look at it that way, it's like they made it their shortest album. They made it barely an album to get it out there and get it done with.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everything else that was like good and interesting, they're like, let's pull it. Let's get it out of here. Let's do something better with it.
Yeah.
Because this is a self-released album, I believe, through Joe Robot Records, which is their, I guess, new record label.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I always appreciate a self-release from a big name.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a shame because the singles won't get much airplay, and the album overall probably won't get as much attention as it would if it was like major like Green Day focus and marketing.
And that might actually be kind of a good thing because like I didn't find out about the original Money 2020 until you brought it up on the podcast.
When did I bring it up?
During our first Green Day expedition.
Oh right, when we talked about American Idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this just adds to the mythology of this sub-series we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, starting out with the Prophecy. Prophecy, very dramatic, very good. Then it just breaks into...
We told you so.
We told you so. We're right. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
We're right.
We're right.
You're wrong. And we told you so. And it's just that for like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And then just breaks into an absolute bop of a song, Theory of Reality.
Yeah. What is the theory of reality?
And that is just a good Green Day song. That's a good Network song overall, and it's all just about like fake news and just like what happens when the reality you created for yourself just is not reality when it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's great. Like legitimately, like as a beginning to an album, it's a really good opener.
Yeah.
And then you get into Trans Am, and you kind of the first 8 or so tracks kind of repeat some of the Trans Am stuff. You get new songs like Asphyxia. Digital Black is another great one.
Yes.
Because Digital Black has like the surf punk influence, and the fucking bass line's really good. Oh man. Oh, and then they have like the weird ending to Digital Black as well, which seems more Green Day than Network, but I'm there for it still.
Yes. This whole album. Whew.
And then Respirator, of course, very topical.
Yeah. Yep. About a COVID patient dying on a respirator, which, as an aside, one of the last times I listened to that, I had the thought of, you remember that weird time in Anti-Mask Crusaders where you had the anti-maskers were saying, how could you trust the government? Masks are meant to control us. And then in the same breath say something like, why is hydroxychloroquine under fire? The government's just safe.
Exactly.
Remember that weird time?
I do. It was a very weird time, and we kind of went past it because so much was happening.
Yeah.
I'm sure they weren't even thinking about it because they were just trying to say whatever they could say to keep up their worldview without it collapsing.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that there is a album about 2020 out there, like directly about 2020.
Yeah.
Because maybe it won't age well. I kind of think in a way this will age better than American Idiot.
Yeah, I think it will too. But it's very set in the moment, and
but
some of the songs might come back, like if Ivanka Trump ever runs for office.
Right. But it's like it's that cultural document of what this year was like.
Yeah.
Like in 5 or 10 years, when we look back, like this album will be there to like help us remember and help us just get through like how crazy it was.
Yeah, because 2020 was like 15 years compressed into one.
Yeah, and like it might be that this album feels like disjointed and weird and like super compact with stuff.
That's 2020 for you.
Yeah, that is just 2020. That's just the whole thing. So I'm glad this exists. I'm glad they went all out with it. I'm glad they had Father of All to like lower the expectation bar, and then to have this just like gut punch you how good it is.
Yeah.
I appreciate the pun of the title Herd Immunity.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Again, that's something I picked up on right at first.
Popper Punk is all about doing whippets.
What are they saying in Popper Punk? I could have looked it up because it's one phrase over and over.
It's do you know what whippets are, or poppers?
I do know what poppers are.
It's just the whipped cream canisters, the nitrous oxide.
But what is the exact phrase they're saying?
It's they're talking about it's like spastic society kind of thing with where they're just kind of saying the name of the compounds, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check it out.
Because I was writing it down every time. Something about nitrate. Something nitrate.
Amyl nitrate.
Yeah, that's what it is. I definitely heard that term before.
And
Amyl
that's
nitrate.
just the lyrics.
And like, is it Eingold nitrate? Any more nitrate? Ankle nitrate?
I don't know.
Like, not looking up, it was kind of the fun of like, what are they saying?
Yeah. Had a very spastic society feel to it.
Yeah. Other things, they have a harmonica part in Jerry Falwell's pool party and a sax.
Yeah.
Like Foxborough Hot Tubs, they went in like new directions with instruments you would not expect.
And it worked.
Yes. This is the kind of album where you could just throw anything at it and it'll work.
That's a new wave for you. The definition of new wave in the 80s was something that wasn't quite punk and wasn't quite pop.
Something else I picked up on when researching this album from what I could, because there aren't that many reviews of it, or there weren't when I was looking it up. Where is Dr. Svengali?
Where's what?
Dr. Svengali from the original lineup.
I don't know. I forgot about him. To be honest.
I also forgot about him, and then someone mentioned it in the comment section. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gone.
He's the manager.
Oh, is it because they left Reprise Records, so they got rid of the manager?
It might be.
I will say
there was a running there was an idea that one of the members had to be a part of Devo, and I think that Dr. Svengali was thought to be him, one of the
like Mark Mothersbaugh or something.
something like that.
I can see that. I will say, for being 25 tracks, I think the point where I started getting tired of it might have been Time Capsule.
I actually really like Time Capsule, especially that go into Threat Level Midnight.
Yes, Threat Level Midnight.
Threat Level Midnight is a banger and a half.
Also an Office reference, I believe.
I think you're right. It's been a while since I've seen The Office, but yeah, I believe you are right.
Yeah, the Time Capsule was like the point where, like, okay, I'm kind of over the whole Devo thing for this record. We can move on. And that's exactly what they did. Like, Time Capsule was the last kind of Devo-inspired song. Then they went through, like, Threat Level Midnight, which was more of just, like, a straight-up more punky rock song.
Yeah.
Amnesia Vagabond just being, like, a weird sci-fi mood tone piece.
Who am I?
And then Art of the Deal with the Devil being this really slick, like, song that you could expect from, like, another group, like, I don't know, Cold War Kids or Foster the People or something.
Yeah, like you just see, like, if this had a music video, it'd just be like the greasiest thing imaginable.
But it's good is the difference.
Good.
Like, Father of All is typified by being like a bunch of songs that anybody else could put out and it would be like, oh yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
For Green Day, it's like, what the fuck? But if this was a Green Day song straight up, Art Deal with the Devil, it makes sense. It's very good.
Yeah.
Like, Billie Joe Armstrong is so slick in that, and in the vocals is so just like so cool. You know, it projects that aura.
I really appreciate the lyrics talking about, like, just the cult of MAGA.
Yeah, and I'm curious how I would feel about it if it was a Green Day song. Would I think it was as genuine?
If it was on Father of All Motherfuckers, I don't think I'd enjoy it as much.
I don't think so. I would either, but I still think it would be the highlight.
Yeah, it would be the highlight, but I wouldn't appreciate it as much.
And I think, like, the thing that probably, like, shows you the most that it's from that is because it has, like, the same, like, clapping tones, because they use like a clap machine or whatever on the whole album, and it comes back here for sure.
It's got a real sizzly bass tone too. Like, I think Darn's using the Rickenbacker like he was on Father of All Motherfuckers.
I mean, if it's a cut song from that session, then probably. Do you think they like prettied it up a lot, or is it just that song?
I feel like it might be a re-record.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, there's like the background synths in it. If you listen.
Oh yeah, it gets a little sci-fi in there.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just add did they just maybe add a couple strands to it?
Maybe there's a couple things they could have done, but I think it might have been just an entire re-record, just to make it flow better.
That could be. Because it's the kind of thing when you listen to Father of All, you're like, wow, they really are missing the mark. This just feels like empty. The songs don't really go a lot of places. You hear some of American Idiot in some moments, but it's like, what's the point? I don't quite get why this exists. But all of these songs, even if they're short, feel like the complete songs.
Yeah.
Like, even Pizzagate, being as short as it is with no lyrics, you know, Squatter being as short as it is, like a minute, and it just has like a storytelling kind of thing. It all feels complete.
And it's impressive.
Yes.
Like, it is. For an album that, like, I'm sure was pitched as a shitpost, it's great.
Whatever happened, either before or after Father of All Motherfuckers, like, they got back on their game somehow. All of them did.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be interesting if, like, Father of All was, like, the B-sides album from all everything they've been doing?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Like, it's not, but, like, if like spiritually it was like, oh, this is just the stuff we were usually gonna cut, but they're like, why don't we just make an album of stuff we're gonna cut and see how it does?
Yeah.
Because that would make a ton of sense, I feel like.
I think, yeah, you're right.
But, Father of All. I will say that the interesting thing, if you look at it, obviously their Hell on Mega tour with like Fall Out Boy never happened because of COVID.
Yeah.
But theoretically, they were going to tour with Father of All Motherfuckers being their kind of like guiding star, right?
Which, honestly, COVID might have been a blessing in disguise for Green Day.
Yeah, because what do you not hear about anymore?
Father of All Motherfuckers.
Yeah, that album has like disappeared.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, were they gonna do a network album anyway, or like?
I feel like they had it just as a cute as like a joke.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, yeah, Money 2020. We need to make a sequel to that just as like a joke. Like I brought up the whole Angry Video Game Nerd where he did Raid 2020 and in the year 2020 and
Street Fighter 2010.
In 2010.
Right. But they turned it into like their main focus and their main project somehow, and it worked. And I kind of want them to tour with this album instead.
Yeah.
Like if the network toured once this is all over, and like say they took over the Hell Mega tour.
That would be cool. And like we got Green Day, we got network covers of old Green Day songs.
That would be super interesting.
Yeah.
Like everyone's kind of in on the joke. Like maybe you get someone from Fall Out Boy to like pop out for a minute and like maybe poke fun at it or something.
Yeah.
Like you just make it part of like the fun of it. It's just like for people who just have no idea what the fuck is going on. It's just total confusion.
Yeah. Well, the network opened for Green Day on the American Idiot tour.
Right, but newer fans are probably not gonna know.
Yeah.
So they're like, who the fuck are these guys? And then they start playing Green Day songs, and they're just like, oh, it's just that.
Yeah. And I mean, there has been the whole social media thing where Billie Joe's just like, I don't know who these guys are. They're not us.
Right. So it would make total sense, in a sense, for them to take over the tour and like hijack it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like the next escalation. And I think like the Hell Mega tour, if they come back with it next year, like I think they're going to. Like because there's like a lot of built-up expectation now, more than there was. So
yeah, I might actually get tickets to this if fucking the network replaces.
Like maybe they don't announce it right away, but like the first few shows, it's like, oh, it's a network playing.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fun stuff you could do. If I was in Green Day, if I was making those decisions, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would just have fun with it. Pretend Father of All maybe didn't exist, and maybe play one of those songs occasionally just to get, just to appease maybe a couple people who actually like the album.
Yeah.
But the thing I found interesting about music critics that you don't really find in like the movie sphere or like the video game sphere is you're always going to find music critics who are going to rate an album highly or like pretty well.
Definitely.
Or even like average enough where the median range, the Metacritic of it's going to be usually acceptable.
Yeah, like we saw that with this podcast with me and Baloo.
Yeah, like I think Father of All has like a positive Metacritic score. Let me take a look.
I forget what Anthony Fantano rated it as.
Father of All has a 68 on Metacritic, which is not amazing, but it is in the green. Oh,
yeah.
Worth pointing out, I don't know if we actually focus on this, it is their 13th album.
Unlucky 13.
Is that just intentional?
Could be. Okay, one of the top comments on the Needle Drop album. This is what it would sound like if LMFAO made a rock album.
I'm looking at the lyrics to Meet Me on the Roof because they were linked on the Metacritic page. This has to be some kind of a prank. Right?
Yeah, and I was a teenager. So which one's got the drugs?
Well, listen to these lyrics though. I'm crawling on the dance floor. Dance floor. I think I lost my phone. Feeling a toothache. Toothache. My face is going numb. I beg 1,000 pardons. All my friends are crazy. Hanging from a window. Window. All you got to do is jump. Come meet me on the roof tonight, girl. Oh, ooh, oh, oh. How high is your low gonna go, girl? Then it just goes on from there. Like, boy. Oh, next verse. I'm hanging with the cholos. Cholo.
Anthony Fantano gave it a strong 0.
Yeah, this is reading like this does not. This is just shit you put on a piece of paper.
This is to bring back the other worst album I've mentioned. This is Danger You, Danger Me, Dangerous.
Right. So 68. Let's look at how I'm feeling. Since Lauv is there with us. Oh, weird. Weird. Also, sidebar. Charlie XCX. Her album this year was called How I'm Feeling Now.
Huh. Okay, on Google, the 98% of Google users like this.
What?
Lauv.
How I'm Feeling by Lauv? 67. So it is ranked lower than Green Day by 1 point.
Wow.
But still in the green. Still in the green.
Yeah.
Only has 6 reviews, so maybe there's some bias there, because how many reviews does Green Day have to come up with this? About 25. Okay.
It got a 5.1 on Pitchfork.
All right, so we got those. So let's look up Sonic Boom by Kiss.
That scored well.
Right, but I'm just like, I know it got a lot of praise, but on Metacritic, Sonic Boom has a 57%. That's in the yellow.
Yeah.
And we're not saying Metacritic is like the end all be all of like scores and like the thing you should take religiously as like this is how albums are. Because we clearly both do not like Lauv and Green Day. You do not like Sonic Boom. I've not listened to it yet.
Well, you listen to 2 songs and you're like, oh, this is just boomer rock.
Yeah.
I think it's saying something that it's not.
It's not streaming anything? Yeah. I could buy the CD. I could go and buy it right or tomorrow, I guess. I could go and buy it.
I would not recommend it.
I mean, maybe that's an album we look at in 2021.
Yeah, when we do our worst albums of all time.
Yeah, I'll bring
pull that up.
I'll bring the Cardinal Heart. You bring the Kiss.
I'm debating between Kiss and the Shags.
I still want to listen to that Shags album.
It's what inspired like Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart.
Right. I a lot of the things that you recommend like that, I tend to like not listen to ahead of time because I want that full surprise when we get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am very curious about that. I'm interested because Sonic Boom is rated so much lower than the other two, and those are albums we have ranked really lowly on this podcast. So I'm curious if we will follow that trend and say, oh yeah, Sonic Boom is worse than How I'm Feeling.
It's a Kiss album, but it's not a good Kiss album, if that makes sense.
Right, but
like, Kiss has like 5 good songs.
And are they even that great?
They're not even that great. Like, I'm never like, oh hell yeah, I want to listen to Rock and Roll All Night. But if like Rock and Roll All Night is on the fucking radio, I'm like, yeah, Rock and Roll All Night. I won't change this.
Right, yeah. It's like it's in a movie, it shows up or something. It's like, oh, this is fine. This makes sense. Oh, this is fine.
Yeah, like it was in Paul Blart.
Of course, it wasn't Paul Blart. That makes complete sense.
It does.
Also, the fact that you have watched Paul Blart and I have not blows my mind.
I saw it in theaters as a kid.
I mean, to be fair, I saw Master of Disguise in theaters as a kid, so I understand.
Well, it's like I enjoyed it as a kid because it was just like kids' first Die Hard.
I also enjoyed Master of Disguise as a kid.
I have not seen that movie.
It is like the movie that killed Dana Carvey's career. It is. Oh man, it is a trip. It is only notable for having the Sprouse twins in it for like a second. How's your Pinot whatever?
It is disappearing.
And this rum is also almost gone. Getting there. Anything else you want to say about Money Money 2020 Part 2, We Told You So?
It's good. You should listen to it if you haven't already.
Like, it is so good that we came back to do this episode. Like, it is the reason.
Yeah, like we were planning on just doing like a half-assed, like, oh hey, yeah, this came out. It's episode 3.5 of our Green Day series. It's a good It's an alright album. You should go listen to it.
Well, so that was, to be fair, that was your idea of it. I was kept saying, like, let's give it an actual shot here. Let's actually do an episode. And like, well, we'll see.
And then it came out, and it's so good. It's like, oh, we got to do a whole episode on it.
Yes. Also, I think it was interesting going back to the whole Trans Am thing one more time. I think Fentanyl and Flat Earth are some of the slower songs on the record.
They are.
Trans Am might be kind of as well.
Yeah.
So is there kind of connection there, you think, with like the slower songs get their own EP?
I don't know, maybe. I would say that had some credence if like Ivanka Was a Nazi wasn't just like basically a Ramones song through the filter of Devo.
Right, but if you think about it, that could be like the single, you know what I mean? Like this is all just kind of like accompanying the single.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it is kind of the Trans Day of Remembrance kind of thing. Just like, let's put it out. Let's just kind of ride those coattails a bit, but like not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because they pull from a lot of ideas here. Like, Trans Am has kind of like a Kavinsky vibe, because Kavinsky's big album is all about turning into a car, which I guess Trans Am technically is about.
Yeah. It's like how his lover is a car that's nuclear powered from the 70s.
Right. And Degenerates, the Muse song, and Art of the Deal with the Devil is the Green Day Father of All song.
Yeah.
They cover a lot of ground. I'm glad it exists. And I'm glad they even took their older Green Day songs that were probably just hanging around and making them better.
Yeah, I want to buy this album on vinyl.
I know there were pre-orders available.
Oh shit, are there?
Probably something for you to Google.
I'm Googling it right now because I really enjoy it.
You know, Squatter is interesting, I will say. Because if you think about it, a Squatter was like, if you were coming home from touring because of COVID and you found someone in your apartment, that's like the worst thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a whole, like, that's usually kind of stressful, I would imagine, but that's like stressful on a whole other level at that point. I think it makes the point. It should be here. As weird and random as it is.
Yeah, there's semen in the sink.
Yes, that was a line I wrote down.
Yes.
And of course, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yes.
I wish I could auto-tune my voice and say it again, but that's how they get you.
Yeah. There's no vinyl announced yet for it.
Oh. Guess what I read was a lie. My apologies.
You might have been reading for the original Money Money 2020.
Oh, maybe. Alright. Well, you want to talk about No Fun Mondays then?
Yeah, this is a good cover zone.
They must have been working on them simultaneously, right? To some degree?
So I think this was entirely just Green Day, or just entirely Billie Joe playing everything.
Right. But I did read that I think, what's her name? Bangles lady. I think she played the guitar on the Bangles cover.
That's cool.
Manic Monday. Yeah, it says that, yeah, it says that she did the thing for it, yeah.
That's cool. When you said what's her name, I was gonna say not that what's her name.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's her name? God damn it. Susanna Hoffs. That's it. She apparently did guitar work for that. Also, Manic Monday, a Prince song. He wrote it. Also, probably the song that I would have criticized the lyrics most of on the album. Because, I mean, I think Prince knows how to write a good hook and make it catchy, but I think in this case the lyrics are not maybe up to par.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't listened to much, and I know I'm terrible for that.
I haven't listened to an amazing amount of Prince. But, like, just another Monday, I wish it was Sunday, that's my fun day. It's not the most amazing thing. But like what do we got here? Like who is he covering here? He's covering Tommy James and the Shondells, the Starjets, which War Stories I've never heard before. It seems like a really cool song.
I haven't heard a lot of these songs.
Manic Monday by the Bangles, Corpus Christi by Avengers, That Thing You Do by the Wonders, Amico by Don Bacchi, which is Italian, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory by Johnny Thunders. Kids in America, Kim Wilde. That is a surprise cover. Also,
Yeah.
he also kind of kills it too.
No, he does.
Not That Way Anymore by Steve Bators. That's Rock and Roll by Eric Carmen, who unfortunately Trump supporter.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's funny that he covered "Give Me Some Truth" by John Lennon, because we were just complaining. I was complaining about how I think "Give Me Some Truth," especially as like the name of some kind of like box set or something, is like so fucking pretentious and like pseudo intellectual. Like, just give me some truth, man. It's like that doesn't sound as cool as you think it does. It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
You think truth is some commodity that can be just handed to you? No, either there's truth or there's not. And I get the feeling that maybe Billie Joe was like, oh yeah, that's coming out. That's like a John Lennon thing. I like that song. I'm gonna cover that song. I think "Give Me Some Truth" was like one of the last things he recorded for too.
Probably.
I just think it's funny that there's like a little lineup there. Anyway, other than that, we got "The Whole Wide World" by Reckless Eric, "Police on My Back" by The Equals, and "A New England" by Billy Bragg. So like a wide selection of things that were around when he was either a kid or like before he was born.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's like all contemporary to him, and Billy Joe's like nearing 50. But
yeah,
I think the surprising thing is that the album, like the songs don't sound dated.
No, they don't.
Like he gives them all an energy. Like a lot of like a few of them specifically, he makes just sound like either he wrote them or Green Day made them or just whatever.
Yeah. I will say I really like the nod to his first guitar, and "That's Rock and Roll."
Yeah.
He changed the line from buying new guitars to buying blue guitars. I thought that was like a really cute nod.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that "Police on My Back" was the only song not to be released as a single.
You cut out there.
Oh yeah, "Police on My Back" was the only song not to be released as a single.
Not released as a single, yeah.
Like literally every other song on his 14-track album was released as a single except for "Police on My Back."
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I mean, it's a song about police brutality, but it's just coincidence. It's just does he want you to pay like $10 or $15 or whatever just for that song because you could have just kept buying them as they came out?
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you like from this? Because you said you've not heard a lot of these, and I haven't either.
Yeah, well, I really liked a lot of it, if I'm going to be honest. There's some really good stuff on the album. War Stories was fun. Manic Mondays was fun.
Yeah.
Amico was fun. It's always fun hearing people sing in other languages. Like I've sung in French and Latin before, and it's fun.
We've never really had a lot of non-English stuff on this podcast, and I'm surprised we find it here, but here we are.
No, and I've been trying, I also actively tried to like find like, oh hey, we did a German band and a French band from me, and they're saying in English.
That's the rum done.
I am almost done with my bottle of wine.
Ugh. Not the biggest rum fan. I think it says something. I've been sitting on this bottle for about half a year. But, yeah, we will do a non-English episode eventually. That's kind of been one of our kind of lofty ideas of doing.
Yeah, I've had a post-punk Russian album in the chamber for a while.
And I've had a Russian metal album chamber as well. I'm excited to do at some point because I don't know a lot about that band, and there's not a lot out there about them that's in English. So, whenever my research is hard, that's a plus. 'Cause I don't think my research should always be easy, because I try to look up these bands as best I can.
Yeah.
Ugh. I appreciate like Billy Joe approaches all these songs in like full confidence mode. Like he thinks he's gonna do it and he does it.
Yeah.
Like
there's nothing half-hearted about this album, which I can appreciate.
I do think You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory is a little bit different and a little bit kind of interesting that it's like a slower, more ballady song.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really fit the rest in that they're a little bit faster and punky. But I think it's interesting that he kind of had that variety in there.
Definitely.
You know, sometimes having variety in your album works, and sometimes you have the new Foxy Shazam album where it's kind of just like jarring and like, oh, we're trying new things. That's cool, but like, man, I really like that Foxy sound, and these new tracks, they try to be it, but they're not it. But that's okay. But they also sound just super different, you know?
Yeah.
That Thing You Do, I believe that was the title of a movie. Is it about the Wonders? No, it's about a fictional one-hit wonder band, but it's also titled after a legitimate one-hit or like an actual song that is popular, which is funny.
Yeah.
Directed by Tom Hanks, which is interesting.
Yeah.
1996, so like post Forrest Gump, so Bunny had a lot of clout probably. He was like, let me just make a movie here.
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of is about the Wonders, I guess, but like also fictionalized. I don't know.
Seem to have scored well.
In the movie, they're called the Wonders, but like one spelled O-N-E.
Ah.
So it's clever in that way.
Yeah.
It's a dad pun.
Ah, shit! I dropped my glasses.
What I also appreciate about this album is that not all the songs are like easily like Googleable. Like they're not all on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Like of course he names the album after like Manic Monday because that's like one of the most popular songs he's covered here.
Yeah.
But like Amico doesn't have a Wikipedia page. War Stories doesn't have a Wikipedia page, and I think we could probably do an episode on the Starjets. I think that'd be actually really interesting if we.
Yeah.
Like I definitely want to like look into the Starjets here. That one song impressed me a lot. Let's see, they were only around for 4 years. They had a couple charted hits. They had one album called "God Bless the Starjets," and it failed. And a couple singles.
Sounds about right for one-hit wonder band.
They changed their name to Tango Brigade, released another single, then split up. And they got back together in 2019 and are performing live.
Huh.
For a band from Ireland that does punk rock and power pop in the 70s, that's all right. You could do better. You could do worse.
God Bless the Starjets is not streaming, I think. At least not on YouTube.
I wonder if you could like what is it on CD even? Is my question.
Probably, or you might need to like dig up a vinyl of it.
Yeah, like would we have to do that?
It's on YouTube.
I went to the Amazon page. There's one listing for God Bless the Starjets, the Punk Collection, which is, I guess maybe like an expanded release of like all their other singles and B-sides because there wasn't much. It's $66 on Amazon.
Fuck.
Yeah. Let's see, Discogs. God Bless the Starjets. Obviously, not as many songs. How many? Yeah, so the US had LPs. The UK had a cassette.
The Punk Collection is $20 used on eBay.
Okay, not bad. Maybe one of us.
Jets.
Maybe one of us can like look into that and then just kind of like share with the class.
Yeah, I mean it is on the LP $30.
What if that's just our first all vinyl episode?
Ooh, that might be interesting. Or I'm just like you hear me just like I record the fucking album, but then you just hear me like sneeze through halfway through it.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that down as something I want to try to get to.
I'm favoriting the promo LP of the Starjets.
Because I probably call that probably a highlight of the album, honestly. War Stories.
Yeah.
Um, Kids in America. Like, I forgot Kids in America had actual lyrics.
Yeah.
Because I always just hear the chorus, like, when the kids in America run. And it's like, oh, there are actual things going on in this album, or this song that are the main things. I don't know, what else do you think is a highlight here?
I think we covered most of it. It's good though.
Yeah. Like, I think we going back to our ranking episode, it ranked up there among my favorite albums of the year because I think a lot of the albums we ended up listening to were not the best, and this was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Any highlights off of 2020 Part 2 you wanted to say were just like the highlights and lowlights?
I feel like we covered everything we could with Money 2020. There aren't really many low spots other than the Trans Am EP, which is a fucking power move.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, here's an EP of good songs that aren't the best off the fucking album. And it's just like, holy shit.
And the question, of course, is like, did Green Day know that? Or is it just coincidence?
I feel like there might have been a little bit of cockiness, like, yeah, we're fucking do it.
Like, they put Trans Am on there because that's what it's called, and then they're like, let's put these other two on there. They're probably not going to get a lot of attention otherwise.
Yeah.
And then Ivanka is a Nazi because that's what you want to like hook people with. Like, that's good marketing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is going to be a crazy album.
No such thing as bad marketing.
Yeah. Double checking any other notes I want to bring up. No. I guess a couple of the songs I kept writing that a couple of the songs on No Fun Mondays reminded me of like a Sonic song. That was fun. The whole wide world is a weird song because it's just about this guy being told by his like family, like, the girl even dreams is in Bahamas. She's in Tahiti. She is a girl of an island somewhere that you're just gonna go out in the world and find. It's like weird.
Like, I can appreciate that too because it's like it's talking about like how true love is like kind of a farce.
But it's like almost weirdly fetishy to a good degree. I feel like in a way.
A little bit.
And you have the contrast of the network's Money 2020 being a full like repudiation of Trump, and then covering That's Rock and Roll, where Eric Carmen is a Trump supporter. You know.
Yeah.
That's an interesting like dichotomy there. I wonder what Billie Joe's whole thing about that is. It's a fun song, so I'm just gonna cover it, which is valid. I don't know. Anything else you want to say?
I don't think I have anything.
All right. Well, that is the last episode of Dissonant Waves for 2020. I have been Dominic. As always, you can catch me at DACICHOCKI on Twitter. I still write stuff for tiltingwindmillstudios.com. That is tiltingwindmillstudios.com. You can also catch Dissonant Waves on YouTube. If you're listening, you're probably listening on YouTube. But we have a website as well, dissonantwaves.space. Twitter at Dissonant Waves. Follow us as of this recording. Ritz is going to put his top 100 songs on the Twitter feed. We're going to do it for him, something along those lines.
I've been Trix. You can catch me online at Twitter at procrastinaut_. That's like procrastinating astronaut. And I also have a YouTube channel where I'm currently working on one of the biggest shit posts of a video I've ever thought up, and that'll be up there sometime soon. So yeah.
Well, that'll do it for us then. Unless you have any final words, Trix, because this is actually your execution.
I do not have any final words.
All right, so I'm gonna execute myself first, and then it's gonna be like it's gonna be a whole thing. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Bye bye.